This is a Dark Illumination Report Extra with RJ Womack.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for another episode of the podcast. This is Brother Nero, aka RJ Womack, and this is the Dark Illumination Report podcast. The podcast where we try to put the emphasis on the religious worship of Satan and demons instead of worshiping the individual. And we also try to give Satanists advice to help them improve their lives, if we can. On today's episode, I'm going to be answering another listener question, and this question comes from several people, so I'm not going to say anybody specific. I'm just going to answer the question generally. The question has been asked of me about 3 times now. What happens when you feel disconnected from Satan? Is there a reason for that? Does it mean we've displeased him in some way? Or does it mean we're just getting caught up in the mundane bullshit of life? And more often than not, it means you're getting caught up in the mundane bullshit of life. If anything, it's very rare that most people would ever do anything bad enough to make Satan pull his presence away from them. The only time that he tends to do this is when you're supposed to do something he's told you to do and he's warned you many times and you've chosen not to do it for whatever reason. And usually this takes years sometimes before he'll do that, although I'm not recommending testing his patience and pushing him to the limit. In fact, I would advise you to do exactly the opposite. Try to do what he asks you to do or what he wants you to do as soon as you can. However, if you do know you're supposed to do something for him or a particular demon, then and you don't do it, then you can have this happen where you feel their presence or their energy pull away. But in most cases, it's because we get caught up in day-to-day life, whether it's kids, relationships, work, whatever it is, and especially with this coronavirus going around and all this other stuff happening, with our lives being out of sorts, it's kind of understandable why more people are feeling this way. The best way to deal with this is to pray at least once a day or twice a day. I don't recommend doing it more than twice a day because once you get beyond twice a day, it becomes mechanical. I've done it. I've prayed once a day. I've prayed twice a day. I've prayed up to 5 times a day. And once you get beyond 2 times a day, it really starts to feel mechanical and it starts to lose its meaning. So I don't really recommend any more than 2 times a day. So what you need to do is you need to do a prayer in the morning, a prayer in the evening, read religious text that connects with you, make an offering to the gods, whether that's drink offering or food offering, pray to Satan, pray to any demons that you feel connected to. And even when you're not doing your prayers, read folklore about the devil, read stories about the devil, read ancient traditions about the gods and the demons. It'll help you feel more connected. In addition to that, go over your text, memorize some of your text, pray over your food for a few days if you feel that's necessary, or pray over your food all the time. Ask Satan to use it to fortify your body so that you can do his will as well as your own. Get yourself immersed in the spiritual. Get yourself immersed in the religion itself. And once you start doing that, you'll start feeling that connection again, because more than likely what's happened is you've just gotten so caught up in the mundane activities of life that you've lost your connection to the spirit world, and you just need to be reminded of it.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Illumination Report podcast. For the latest news headlines, show information, and more, go to rjwomack.com. That's rjwomack.com.